All right, let's talk about AI in fashion. Today, we're going to cut right through all the marketing noise to figure out what is really going on. Let's get into it.
This quote just captures the moment we're in so perfectly. It really feels like agentic AI, these smart systems that can actually do things on their own, is being stuffed into every single product and pitch, whether it makes sense or not. It's the buzzword of the year, and it's creating this huge frenzy of excitement and, let's be real, a whole lot of confusion. Because if you just scratch below that surface just a little bit, you find the real story. And honestly, it's a story about these huge fundamental shifts in strategy, in customer experience, and even in how we think about and use technology itself. So let's start there with the first big shift. This isn't just about some new tech, it's about a whole new language and a new focus. And it all starts with a word we thought we knew inside and out: omnichannel. Okay, what's so interesting here is the evolution you're seeing on this slide. We're moving away from this old business-focused idea of omnichannel, which was all about, stitching your website and your physical store together. Now, we're moving to this very human-centric idea of a seamless experience. The goal isn't just to connect the channels anymore. It's to make the channels totally irrelevant from the customer's perspective. And this whole idea is rooted in one core concept: true customer centricity. It just means you start with the person, the customer, or even your own employee in the store, and you design everything around what they need. The technology, that comes second. It's there to serve the experience, not be the main event. And this quote from the LVMH group just nails it. This is the goal, especially in the world of luxury. Technology is doing its best work when you don't even notice it's there. The focus has to stay on the product, on the emotion of the experience, with all the tech just humming along quietly in the background, making it all feel completely effortless. Okay, so how does this whole customer-centric, invisible tech philosophy actually work in the real world? Let's take these big ideas and ground them in what's actually happening in fashion retail, from the stores to the website. First up, a really important reality check. With all the talk about digital and e-commerce, a massive 80% of fashion sales still happen in physical brick-and-mortar stores. That number right there tells you that one of the single biggest opportunities for AI is to make that in-person experience way, way better. And here is where things get really powerful. Think about this. Even the best luxury websites have maybe a 1% conversion rate. That means 99% of people who visit are browsing, but they don't buy online. But that browsing isn't a waste. It's an absolute gold mine of data about what they want. AI can finally connect those dots, making that online wish list available to a store associate so that when that customer walks in the door, you can create a truly personal, high-touch experience for them. Now let's flip over to the e-commerce side of things. For years, the big dream of one-to-one personalization was always stuck because of a content bottleneck. You might have all the data on a user, but you couldn't possibly create unique content for every single person. It was impossible. Well, now, with generative AI, that bottleneck is finally breaking. We can at last unlock the potential for a truly individual online journey. And this leads us to what is honestly probably the most profound change that AI is bringing. It's not just a new tool. It is a completely new relationship between people and software. It's a total paradigm shift. I mean, for the entire history of computers, we, the users, have had to be the ones to adapt. We had to learn the software's rigid logic, its weird menus, its specific formulas. We've had to basically force our human way of thinking into its little structured boxes. And hey, don't just take my word for it. This is an incredibly blunt quote from Microsoft's own CEO, Satya Nadella. I mean, wow. It shows that even the people who make these tools see their limitations. For decades, we've been working with super stupid rules on top of our data. But that whole way of working is now flipping on its head. With agentic AI, the software is finally learning to adapt to us. We can just ask for what we want, in plain English, and the technology does the work to understand what we mean, instead of us having to learn its specific commands. And this isn't just a small convenience. This unlocks entirely new ways of working. It means a merchandiser can ask really complex questions about sales data without needing a degree in data science. It means we can shorten the distance between having a creative idea and actually making it happen. It empowers everyone. So, what do you do with all of this? How should leaders in the fashion world be thinking about this moment? Well, it's all about finding that sweet spot between being bold and being smart. The first, and believe me, the most important thing to get is that all that marketing hype is wrong. AI is not some magic black box that you can just buy, plug in, and suddenly everything works. The reality is so much more complicated than that. Real success with AI is built on a solid foundation. It absolutely requires clean, high-quality data. It demands a culture where people are open to learning and changing. It forces you to look at your old processes and completely reinvent them. And maybe most of all, it requires your people to really understand what AI can do, and just as importantly, what it can't do.
This quote right here just captures the exact mindset you need. Be bold, be curious, run experiments, and lean into what's next. But don't be foolish. Don't just jump on the hype train without doing the foundational work and having a real strategy in place.
Because let's be clear, AI is not free. It has very real costs, both organizationally and financially. And the difference between making a true investment and just, well, wasting money, it all comes down to having the knowledge, the strategy, and a real understanding of the value you're trying to create. And that really brings us to the final, and I think the most important question you have to ask yourself. Are you just looking at this incredible new technology as a way to do the same old things just a little bit faster? Or are you seeing it as a tool to fundamentally reinvent your business, your customer experience, and to truly invent the future?